The promise of restoration. Life often presents moments of loss, regret, and seasons where it feels as though years have been wasted. However, God's promise of restoration is a beacon of hope that transcends time and circumstances. In Joel 2:25, God declares, "I will restore to you the years that the swarming locust has eaten." This powerful assurance reveals that no matter how much has been lost, whether due to hardship, mistakes, or uncontrollable circumstances, God can make all things right again. The story of the Israelites provides a vivid example of this promise. They endured a devastating locust plague that stripped them of their crops, their livelihoods, and their sense of security. This tragedy was a consequence of their disobedience to God, yet His mercy prevailed. He promised not only to restore their physical resources, but also to renew their spirits. God's restoration was about more than material possessions. It was about healing hearts, drawing His people closer to Him, and blessing them abundantly. In our own lives, wasted years can take many forms. They might be time spent pursuing unfulfilling goals, enduring broken relationships, grappling with health challenges, or feeling spiritually distant from God. These experiences can lead to feelings of hopelessness and despair, making it seem as though those years were lost forever. Yet, God's promise of restoration is far greater than any loss we may have endured. His power is not bound by time, and His ability to redeem extends beyond human understanding. When we place our trust in God, the process of healing and renewal begins. He has the power to transform even the most painful experiences into testimonies of His grace and faithfulness. By anchoring our hope in His promise, we allow Him to work in ways that bring about complete restoration, healing what was broken, renewing what was lost, and drawing us into a deeper relationship with Him, transforming pain into purpose. One of the most profound ways God restores our wasted years is by transforming pain into purpose. In Romans 8:28, we are reminded and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose. This verse assures us that no experience, no matter how painful, is ever wasted in God's hands. He uses every hardship, failure, and loss to shape our character, strengthen our faith, and prepare us for the future He has planned. When we face trials and hardships, it is natural to feel overwhelmed and alone. These moments often bring questions and doubts, yet they are also opportunities for growth and transformation. As we trust in God, He reveals His grace and mercy in ways that deepen our faith. Our experiences of pain and brokenness become testimonies of His faithfulness and power, showing that He can bring beauty out of the ashes. Our trials are not just for our personal growth. They can also become tools to help others who are facing similar challenges. When we share how God has worked in our lives and brought us through difficult seasons, we offer hope and encouragement to those who are struggling. These stories become living proof that God's restoration is real and available to everyone who turns to Him. Moreover, God's ability to use our pain for His purpose reminds us that we are not defined by our past or our mistakes. Instead, we are shaped by His love and His plans for us. Through His restoration, our hardships are transformed into powerful testimonies that glorify Him and inspire others to trust in His promise of redemption. By allowing God to transform our pain into purpose, we find meaning in our suffering and discover new opportunities to serve and uplift those around us. This process of restoration brings healing not only to our hearts, but also to our relationships, communities, and sense of purpose in the world. The renewal of joy and hope. A vital part of God's restoration is the renewal of joy and hope in our lives. Psalm 51:12 beautifully expresses this promise. saying, "Restore to me the joy of your salvation, and grant me a willing spirit to sustain me." When we turn to God in our brokenness, He fills our hearts with a joy that transcends our circumstances. This joy, rooted in His unwavering love, reminds us that we are valued, cherished, and held by a God who is always in control. God's joy is not fleeting or dependent on external situations. It is a deep, abiding assurance that His presence is enough, no matter what challenges we face. When life feels overwhelming and we are weighed down by past regrets, God's joy lifts us up, restoring a sense of peace and contentment that only He can provide. This joy becomes a source of strength, helping us to face each day with confidence in His promises. Along with joy, God restores our hope. Where there were once obstacles and uncertainties, He brings new possibilities and a renewed sense of purpose. This hope empowers us to believe that good things are ahead and that our lives are not defined by past mistakes or missed opportunities. God's hope is a reminder that His plans for us are always good, filled with meaning and promise. As Isaiah 42:31 declares, "But those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint." This renewed hope energizes us to pursue the dreams and goals God has placed in our hearts. It motivates us to trust in His timing and provision, knowing that He will guide us every step of the way. When God restores joy and hope, He transforms our outlook on life. Instead of dwelling on what was lost, we focus on the abundant possibilities He has for our future. This renewal not only strengthens our relationship with Him, but also inspires us to live with courage, gratitude, and faith. New opportunities and blessings. God's restoration doesn't just mend what was broken. It often brings new opportunities and blessings that exceed our expectations. In Isaiah 43:19, God declares, "See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland." This powerful promise reveals that where there was once emptiness, God creates abundance. Where doors seemed permanently closed, He opens new paths filled with purpose and possibility. When we feel as though time has been lost or opportunities missed, it is easy to fall into discouragement. Yet, God is always at work behind the scenes, orchestrating His plans for our lives. He turns deserts into places of renewal, bringing forth blessings in unexpected ways. His grace ensures that nothing is truly lost. Instead, He weaves every experience into His divine purpose for our good. God's new beginnings often come in ways we could never imagine. He may provide a fresh start in our careers, open the door to meaningful relationships, or lead us to opportunities that align perfectly with His plans for us. These blessings are not just random acts of kindness. They are intentional signs of His love and care. They remind us that with God, nothing is impossible, and even the most difficult circumstances can be transformed into avenues of growth and joy. These new opportunities also require faith and trust. As we step into the unknown, we can rest in the assurance that God is guiding us every step of the way. His provision is perfect, and His plans are designed not only to bless us, but also to strengthen our faith. With each new beginning, we are reminded of His ability to bring good out of even the most challenging situations. God's restoration is not just about reclaiming what was lost, but about stepping into the fullness of His promises. As we embrace the opportunities He provides, we experience His abundant grace and are empowered to live out our purpose with confidence and hope. A holistic restoration. When God restores, He doesn't stop at fixing one area of our lives. His restoration is holistic, touching every aspect of our being, our hearts, minds, bodies, and relationships. It is a comprehensive renewal that reflects His desire for us to live abundant, fulfilled lives. God begins by healing emotional wounds. He reaches into the deepest parts of our hearts, where pain and hurt have taken root, and brings comfort and peace. He heals the brokenhearted and binds up their wounds. Psalm 147. Banding 3. Whether the pain comes from loss, rejection, or disappointment, God's healing power restores our ability to forgive, let go of past hurts, and experience freedom in Him. In our relationships, God brings reconciliation and renewal. Broken connections can be mended, and strained bonds can be strengthened through His grace. By guiding us to approach others with love, patience, and forgiveness, God fosters a sense of community and belonging. Healthy relationships reflect His love and allow us to support and uplift one another, creating unity and peace in our lives. God's restoration extends to our physical health as well. He provides strength and vitality, enabling us to overcome illness and weakness. His healing power rejuvenates us, giving us the energy to pursue His plans with vigor. In moments of physical weakness, His presence sustains us, reminding us that He is the ultimate source of life and strength. In our minds, God renews our thoughts and attitudes, helping us to release negativity and embrace hope and positivity. This transformation is essential for moving forward with clarity and purpose. Romans 12:2 reminds us, "Do not conform to the pattern of this world, but be transformed by the renewing of your mind." Through this renewal, we gain the focus needed to pursue the dreams and goals He has placed in our hearts. Trusting God's perfect timing is essential in experiencing His holistic restoration. While we may long for immediate change, God often uses periods of waiting to prepare us for the blessings ahead. These seasons are not wasted, but become times of growth, faith building, and spiritual maturity. As we learn to rely on His strength and trust in His plans, we draw closer to Him, discovering the depth of His love and the richness of His presence. Ultimately, God's restoration transforms us from the inside out. It's not just about changing our circumstances, but about changing who we are. He shapes us into people who reflect His character, live in His peace, and walk confidently in His promises. This holistic restoration is a testament to His power and grace, reminding us that no part of our lives is beyond His reach. The testimony of God's restoration, God's promise to restore wasted years, is a reflection of His incredible love and mercy. No matter what has been lost or broken, He is able to bring healing, renewal, and purpose to every part of our lives. His restoration turns pain into purpose, sorrow into joy, and brokenness into wholeness. As Psalm 30:11 declares, "You turned my wailing into dancing. You removed my sackcloth and clothed me with joy." This is the abundant restoration God offers to all who trust in Him. He doesn't just fix the past. He creates a future filled with hope, blessings, and new beginnings. By surrendering our lives to God, we allow Him to work in ways that exceed our expectations. His restoration not only transforms our circumstances, but also deepens our faith, strengthens our relationships, and renews our sense of purpose. With God, the best is always yet to come.